Hey, everybody, come on in. We see you out there. I got up late this morning, so everybody that's been trying to talk to me on Facebook, I'm not there yet. So maybe I'll get over there and take a look. But come on in, everybody. It's time for Sunday Funnies. We're going to try to be uplifting today and talk positively about stuff. I sent out a bunch of links to people. I think Brian K. Morris even promised he would be on this week. No Brian K. Morris. I thought I was going to have a full house. Not that I'm, not that there's anything wrong with having you guys on.
Hey, they're still waking up. That's what it is.
Is that what it is? John Celestri, where are you? So, anybody betting on Scott Rosema? I don't think anybody is anymore.
Is he real, Scott Rose? I've seen him talking, but I don't think he's real. I think he's a hologram.
Oh, he's been on a couple of times, but not very often. And he's like, oh, keep sending me links. Keep sending me links. I'll be there. No.
He's always very entertaining, though, when he's on.
When he bothers to get up and get around, yeah.
What time is it where you are, Randy?
Come on, everybody. It's 9. It's a little after 9 a.m. Daphne's not here again. And Mr. Fleming's here at least. C is here. So you need to put your whole name in that little bubble there. C just looks like an emblem you put on your chest when you go out playing superhero.
Why not? It's the superhero. Well, let me see. I'll fix it.
What does it stand for, though? That's the thing.
It seems to be important. Though nobody has yet to email me at thezimcast@gmail.com. I'm going to start making up stuff just like everybody else does.
There you go.
That's what I'm doing. We got a letter in from some guy and who knows where, and he asked the following question.
Sucks. Gmail.com.
Dear Zim, why are you so great? Yeah. There we go. Come on in, everybody. It's time for the Sunday Funnies. There's only one listening. I don't even think that is the comment section open. It is. Mike Jimmy is there. What up, lovelies? Mike Jimmy says we will get Scott this morning. Or not? We'll have to wait and find out. I think it's the or not. I did send him links, though. Send him to both of his Facebook places.
He'll show up about 5 minutes at the end.
Begging people to come on. Scott's programming has overlooked and has overloaded and needs to fix itself again first. Has it? Mike Jimmy knows. Mike Jimmy, I think, did I get a message from you? Who's there? I missed an audio call. Huh.
Uh-oh. Usually if I see an audio call, it's usually an accident.
Probably. I've butt dialed a couple people before.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Oh, where are you? There you are, Mike Jimmy. I'll send you a link, buddy. Paste and send.
Is that a pressure pen you're using there, Mike?
Yeah, it's it's digital. So I know you love digital.
What program are you using?
That's what I'm asking. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, Clip Studio.
Oh, see, there we go. I've got Clip Studio in here in my computer. I've opened it twice in the last 2 years. I caught it on sale.
It's
I do not have anything against digital artwork. I just prefer pencils and paper.
I know. It's so much faster to get it, especially cheaper when you don't have all the money to get all the stuff you need.
Yep, Mike.
Hey.
And when I have time, I don't mind. I like doing some traditional.
Yeah, I like traditional. I mean, digital has its pros for sure. First of all, it's cheaper. Until the thing breaks, which has been my life the last 5 months.
Well, that must be why Leonardo took 7 years to paint the Mona Lisa, because he was doing it by hand.
Yeah.
If he'd have had a computer, he'd have had it done in 7 minutes.
Leonardo took 7 years because the wine was really good.
Yeah, and that guy was after him, wasn't he?
And he put all sorts of hidden messages in Mona Lisa that people are still deciphering to this day.
Oh.
That nose meant something. This line here, these two, the background doesn't connect for a reason. This kind of stuff. No, maybe he was just painting.
Maybe he just thought he was hot.
Yeah.
As Freud is known as saying, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah,
that's like on the Life of Brian, isn't it? When they're chasing him through the streets, and he tells them to go away, and they stop and say, But how shall we go away?
The drops the sandal and everybody screams, "It's the sign! It's the sign!"
Yeah.
And everybody takes off their sandal and keeps chasing. Come on in, everybody. It's Sunday Funnies. We're here. We're glad you're here. If you're here, come on in, hit that like button. We're over on the Ragin 2 network. Let me jump over to I was over on my Facebook before. Let me go over there now. I had so many. I got over on Facebook this morning, and I've had so many invitations for everybody's different pages. It's like,
yeah, I ignore most pages on Facebook because either they're dead or I see their stuff in groups anyway.
Oh, don't get so morbid. It's too early in the day to be this morbid. I'd go to your page, but you're dead.
No. I mean, the page is dead. You know, and they're usually more often active on their own feed.
Yeah,
groups.
I got what you're saying. The pages are dead.
Yeah.
And with Randy, I thought you meant they were dead.
Yeah.
I got that idea too, but
I try to remember to put stuff up on my page.
I'll forget all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I just put memes up there. Every once in a while, I'll put a personal update or whatever, but not very often. I need to put another one up there because I was just at a family picnic yesterday and everybody was happy to see me alive. And I'm like, I've been walking for, 4 months now. Where have you been?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it was, hugs all around, that kind of thing. It was good. Holidays and weddings and funerals are like the only time that everybody gets together anymore. So
yeah,
there need to be more parties, I think.
Mike, Jimmy, I saw that cat attack your guest artwork yesterday on the show. Remember the cat?
Oh, yeah. No, my cat attacks all my artwork.
Not your cat, the girl who was on. I don't know.
Nita?
Oh, Nita.
Oh,
yeah.
Nita.
No. Yeah. Cats do that.
Yeah.
I was honestly surprised that mine wasn't on my lap while drawing and just went smudge as well.
One of the few advantages to digital.
Yes.
Oh, you could just shut the door and keep the cat out. Well, that's what I'd do.
Oh, yeah, well, that too.
Or even get rid of the cat. That's what I'd do. But that's just me. When I say get rid of it, I don't mean.
We know exactly what you mean.
I just mean don't get a cat. Get a dog.
I love cats. I hate dogs.
Get both.
Yeah, I'm a cat person, but even with the dog, you can ask Mitch. That doesn't work that well either. His dog jumps up in his lap every time he streams too. So
yeah,
and he's got a big one, so it's not like a little chihuahua one jumping up there.
Yep.
So, Randy, how far down the line with your book are you on your COVID experience?
Not far enough. I've been looking and rearranging, shuffling things around, and right now I've been putting some files, some digital books together for well, honestly, I haven't completely fulfilled the digital part of the Revolt book yet, and I was getting around to it when I went under, and I haven't gotten around to it since I've been awake. So now I'm getting around to it. So I had somebody write on Indiegogo to remind me, and I'm like, oh, I forgot all about it. Yeah, I guess I better start putting that stuff together. So it's just about ready to go out. So
you sent out the rewards for the Indiegogo already, right? Because I received my package, but I only got one set rather than two.
Well, that's did you Fellowship of the Rings or did you long shots? Indiegogo was long shots. Yeah, you need to get a hold of Tony.
Yeah, I sent an email to him earlier this week.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's got full sets anymore because all of the books have been split up. The storage unit that they were all at has been shut down, and everybody has their own books. But if you don't get them, let me know, and we'll have to figure out a way to mail them to you.
Well, you got it. You got them all Indiegogo, or did you get some on Indiegogo and some?
No, I ordered 2 sets from Indiegogo.
Oh, okay.
So a buddy of mine wanted a set as well. So we, split shipping and everything. So it would be a little cheaper.
The Kickstarter sets are out in the mail, but they're in transit right now because of the month 2 campaign. But everybody else that ordered, if you didn't order a month 2 set, everything should be out. Everything should be in the mail. We mailed them all out when we broke down the storage unit on the 14th. So everybody should have theirs. Everybody should have theirs by now, though I don't see a whole lot of people up on Facebook. You know, I've seen a couple showing that they got their sets, but if you're missing a set, we'll have to arrange for you to get one somehow.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's gonna be fine. You know,
I'm looking at wholesale opportunities now to find people who want to take multiple copies. So I got one guy already that is going to start an eBay store who's going to have a set of the Arrow comics at least, and then he's going to track down the other books.
Rich is in the chat trying to get on.
Yeah, I can send him a link if you want. No problem. There we go.
So,
okay. Sorry, Glenn.
What's that you're working on? See,
this is Reapers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is at the 9th page. Really, I'm trying to get all the pencils done, but I thought if I come on here this morning, I'd kind of ink up this page a little bit.
Right.
Looking good, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
What we can see of it in blue line or in light
blue
pencil.
line, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. If I can
So
pull it up.
So you've drawn that with a pencil then, not not digital.
No, it's digital.
Well, right.
It's yeah, between the 40-hour work week and shows, you know, you don't really have time to.
No, no, you don't. No. No, I finished proofreading The Singular this morning, so that means there's going to be a back and forth between Marv and I. Oh boy, there is a lot to fix for this guy. But should be okay. And then we can go into production for that next month. And after this, I should have a talk with JD Calderon for Tall Tales and Oswald in the Netherlands as well.
Oh.
So we're expanding.
Good. Yeah. Good.
Pardon me. I'm just
Getting distracted.
not quite. Just sending out a quick message. So there we are. What is that? That's a white screen. There we are.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are. That's better. That's the Reavers you're working on?
Yeah, Reapers. Yep.
Yep.
Sweet.
It's this is actually a character. I designed the character. I didn't have a name for him, and Meredith named him Blockhead. So
I can see why.
yeah.
It does, yeah, no.
Bristolian Dave in the house. All right, me bebbers. Good to see you,
Hey.
Bristolian. Richness says, hey man, got room. I think you got a link sent to you.
Yeah, you should have received the link.
See, when you're drawing that, are you taking into consideration? This is probably a stupid question, so you'll have to forgive me. But are you taking into consideration the lettering that's going to go on? Or
Yes.
do you just put it
No,
on
no,
later?
no. I take into consideration. Yeah.
Right.
This is you can see, even though there's not an exceedingly amount of dialogue per se, but
Right.
there's still space for it. Yeah.
Right.
Come on in, folks. It's time for the Sunday Funnies. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. We're going to run the opening, and we'll get to introductions, and then we'll start talking about something. So, hang on, folks. Here we go. I am typing again. Anyway. Hey, folks, come on in. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that love button. We're happy that you're here. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. It's time for the Sunday Funnies, where we're going to try to talk positively about this industry and put the fun back in funny business. So everybody's welcome in. come on in. The chat is open. The chat is open. The chat
We don't
is
bite.
open. Chat is open. I am a longtime alternative, independent, and comics producer, creator, everything. I've done a lot in this business for many, many decades. Ran conventions, had my own comics, entertaining paper an entertainment paper, I should say, that was circulated around my county for a decade. Been printed in a lot of places. Probably about the only thing in this business I haven't done is work directly for Marvel and DC because, anyway.
We have standards.
Like I said,
we have standards.
Back in 2003, I pitched. I went to San Diego because I had the luck, I should say, and the fortunate opportunity to go for Bernie Wrightson for a few years and sell his artwork, which was definitely an experience I'll never forget.
Wow.
To people coming by going, "What do you got?" And just a couple tables worth of artwork, pre-production work. He was working on movies at the time. So he had at least, I would say 50 drawings of a rock monster creature for Galaxy Quest that he had designed. And it was everything. It was everything from a beautiful looking thing type humanoid, human-sized creature to these large behemoth rock monsters like you would see in the great old 50s and early 60s Marvel monster books.
Oh my God.
Every last one of them was amazing and just beautiful work. And then in Galaxy Quest, they end up stacking a bunch of rocks together for the movie.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh boy.
He
Somebody
did
in
tell
special
me.
effects department said that's too hard.
Yeah, probably. I have no idea. He did tell me though that the closest thing he ever drew in production for a production drawing for a movie that actually made it to film were the little baby aliens that were in Galaxy Quest. So they took those directly. They'd come up to the cast and smile at them, and they'd be all friendly with them, and then they'd open their mouth and there's a set of sharp teeth that they'd go at him like a prawn.
Now that is a classic thing that's still being used today.
He said that he was especially proud to see that on screen and proud of those drawings. But he did a lot of stuff. Sony hired him way back when they were doing pre-production for Spider-Man to actually, he did a set of drawings of what somebody would look like, what a human would look like in the Spider-Man outfit.
Wow.
And he drew it, and he got paid very handsomely for it. There was a set of Ghost Rider illustrations that he had done, and he learned really quickly with that too, though, is that when you do those production drawings for a movie studio, never send them the originals.
Yeah.
Because he sent them most of the originals and he never got them back. They just mysteriously got lost.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
He was selling quite a few of them at the show. It was like I said, it was a very memorable experience. But I got to go around with a couple of proposals to pitch to Marvel and DC. And one proposal I pitched to Will Dennis, and Will who was an editor at Vertigo at the time, and he was amazing and just fantastic. Read it, understood it, thought it was great. Was going to take it back to Vertigo and see if he can't push it as a series. I'm like, oh, thank you, man, thank you. It's a really good time. The editor at Marvel looked at one of the proposals and looked me deadpan straight in the eye. Says, "We actually own this character." And I said, "No, I'm done." It was just done right there. And then Will Dennis sent me a note back from my proposal. It's just early days of email. Sent me an email back. Oh, it's 2003, so I guess it wasn't that early. But he sent me an email back apologizing, saying that he loved the proposal, but he showed it to Karen Berger, and she vetoed it on the title alone. Didn't read the proposal.
Oh, wow.
Vetoed it on the title.
Jesus.
Because it was named after a place. And they had just picked up another property that was named after a place, and they didn't want any confusion, which was funny because the title that they picked up and printed for a short period of time was Midnight Mass. And if you ever do named after Midnight, Massachusetts, and it was really a kind of heart-to-heart couple that were supernatural investigators. And mine was a supernatural soap opera that took place in a small town in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, because if you've ever been up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, it's desolation, pretty close to wilderness. through the majority of the UP, but it was
Wow.
this was right before I started watching any Buffy or anything, but it was a crux point for a lot of supernatural stuff going on. We had characters wandering into the town for whatever reason. They were just pulled there and then left. And I was really excited about doing the series, but that's what happens when you get really excited about doing a property and you know you're going to do it. I come home from San Diego going, I'm going to be a Vertigo writer. This is amazing. This is so cool. Because Will was so positive about the property. Then he sends me an email back. Sorry, she vetoed it as soon as she read the title.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, man. So did she read the proposal? No. She's vetoed it off the title.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
Tried to
Just
talk to her about it, but she wasn't going to have it. And then,
That's pathetic.
and then to add icing on the cake, I've read many articles later, especially from the viewpoint, and it might not have actually happened this way, but from the viewpoint of the creators of Midnight Mass and how they were treated at Vertigo at the time. And I was kind of like, whew. I kind of think I missed that bullet pretty well. So.
Wow.
But I haven't done much in horror ever since because it just, it's time to find other things to do. So, but I still have the proposal around here somewhere. I got a bunch of side characters created for it. And Will was excited about it because at the time they were looking for vehicles for some of the supernatural characters from DC. And he said, oh man, we could have Swamp Thing run through the town. We can have so-and-so Mr. E run through the town. I'm like, yes, absolutely. That's what this is for.
Nice.
And no,
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Jesus,
Would have been fun
man.
to do. Would have been fun to do because the wife and I were real big fans of Dark Shadows.
Yeah.
At the
yeah.
soap opera that was out. We had a half-hour soap opera over here in the 60s that was mostly in black and white that had supernatural overtones that as a kid, everybody would run home and watch until they got scared to death. I would run home and watch it. My mom got scared to death when they buried somebody alive. She was ironing.
Oh,
I'll never forget that scene. She was ironing at the ironing board, watching the soap opera with us. She was a soap fan anyway. But here was a supernatural soap opera with ghosts and vampires and werewolves and all this, all Frankenstein monsters, all this into it. But it took somebody to be buried alive. She jumped off or away from the ironing board, ran up, shut the TV off, says, "You're never watching that again."
Oh.
What?
Man. Oh,
That was
God.
But
That is crazy.
it was a great soap opera, though. Sci-Fi Channel had run it all in a row. The wife and I recorded it every episode on VHS tape, and now it's on IMBD.com or something. They've got all of the soap opera. If you look for it, you can get it through the streaming services for free. And it's such a laugh because now it's got all of those, and some of it was live too because they'd lose videotape or whatever, and some of it's jury rigged together because this version of the tape got lost or that version of the tape got lost. And you'll go episodes in really crisp black and white, episodes in fuzzy color, episodes in crisp color, episodes in real fuzzy black and white, episodes in really bad sound. It's just great. You never know what you get from episode to episode, but it was a lot of fun. And to do that as a comic, the closest thing that they've done to that is Night Force that DC did for a while about a guy who had a house that different rooms went to different places in time.
It must be a generational thing. I told you the story before about my auntie Connie lived 50 odd miles from us. We used to go and see them every weekend, and she wouldn't let me watch the second episode of Batman.
Yeah.
And 30 it took me 30 years to see the second half. It was being repeated, and I went to a party and she was there, we were laughing about it, but I was 12 I think when that was on, and I really wanted to watch it, and I used to hate going over to see her because she wouldn't let me watch this program.
Right.
And like I say, it took me 30 years to see the second part.
Yeah.
God.
See, is that your kids out that we're hearing in the background?
I don't know whose kids. It's my.
Oh, it's Mike.
I'm closing my window. Sorry, guys. They started playing again.
Oh, okay. Well, it's middle of the afternoon where you're at, so
we can't have the kids playing, can we?
Well, they can play all they want as long as they're not killing each other. Getting screams of bloody murder. See, Michael, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm C. Michael Lanning, independent artist. Done work, of course, for Arrow Comics on Calico Shard. Plus, I also do a little show called Dispatches from Outside the Box, where we kind of look at everything that kind of made you a creator or made you a geek. So, and that's on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Have you gotten your copies of Calico yet?
I have not, but I'm sure they're in the mail.
That's what JD says. Yeah. I haven't gotten mine either. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So I am probably going to print a few more just to make sure that I have some stock to sell at shows.
Yeah.
Just a number one, just to see how it's received. So I'm probably going to, I shouldn't say probably, I will be crowdfunding that later. If not this year, then early next year. Mike Jimmy, way over on the far side of the screen, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I am Mike Jimmy de Bruin, CEO of Ferris & Inns and creator of La Foncora, publisher for The Singular and the Radiant site, and hopefully after tonight a couple more books, so I'm looking forward to talking about that one later. And I host the 2 shows, Hang On Animation at 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, and Sketchy Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday here on the Ragin 2 Broadcast Network.
Sarah's up early this morning. Sarah,
Good morning.
hope you're doing well. Good to hear from you. Nice to know you're still
Hello, Sarah.
doing well. Also joining us this morning is Glenn Fleming. Mr. Glenn Fleming, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. Most relevant to this show, I've written lots of books on different things, but most relevant to this show is this book that was recently published on Indiegogo, which depicts my visits to Jack Kirby's home. And also with the book, you get a DVD of me actually talking with him. So that's on Indiegogo in demand. I'm an artist as well. I've drawn many strips, but this one currently is my book, Hatch. This is on Amazon now, and the second book is coming out soon on Indiegogo again.
Sweet.
And I also publish Comics Unlimited magazine, which is generally around 100 pages when we put it out. It used to be bi-monthly, but it's slipped back to a quarterly now. And we're hoping to get that back up to a bi-monthly, but it does what it says on the tin. You know, it's all about comics and articles and interviews and artwork and all that kind of thing.
Are you quarterly now because you're not getting enough material in?
No, quarterly because everybody working on it is doing other things, so we had to cut back.
Well, then
But
you're
we're
not getting material in fast enough then. So, and I'm sorry, I keep promising to write articles for that thing, and I never do.
No.
So I need to get off of my butt and get more productive.
Yeah.
You still need to send me an email for that interview.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. There's so much going on.
I know. I'm joking.
Yeah, I know. But then, and stuff outside this kind of area, you know, personal stuff, and it's just such a lot going on at the moment, so it's all catching up. But yeah, I will get around to that. Yeah, of course I will.
Sarah says, "Nice to be here. I've missed too much." Probably.
Yeah, I haven't seen her.
You probably haven't missed much, Sarah. We're still kind of the same. I was down for a few months and felt like I hadn't missed hardly anything. So.
No, but you were running a marathon.
I was traveling. I was traveling the country. Is what I was doing in my head. I was tripping balls. So, I just found out a couple weeks ago that I was actually awake in the ICU for a couple of days before they put me on the ventilator. And I don't remember it at all. My whole memory of that has been wiped clean because I was tripping at the time. They drugged me up really hard and sent me places I had never been before. So. Vancouver was really nice this time of year, but it's all the way across the continent, and I never left Flint. I'm doing a book on it, though. I'll eventually have that up, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'd love to see that one come around.
Sarah says, "Is it bad to tell my boyfriend that I love him for his comics?"
No.
It's okay.
Honesty and transparency is always the best policy, Sarah. So, and you know, letting him know why you're there, pretty important. Make sure you read all of his comics first.
Are we talking about his comic collection, or is he a comic artist? He does decide to sell. Does he need to go ahead and take into consideration he's going to lose you too, or
is the relationship over if he divests himself of his comic collection? Yeah. I met my wife while I was retailing, at a comic shop, and I had sworn off relationships at that point because I had just gone through a couple of bad ones. One of them I blew because it was my fault, and another one I just got tired of and had to stop.
Yeah.
Just ended very bitterly, and I was sworn off relationships, and she kept coming into the shop and buying comics, and it started talking, and then it was like, hey, I've got a young son, you've got a young daughter, maybe we should get together and go bowling or something. And I'm like, yeah, well, why don't we go out on a date before we do that? And we went out to see Beetlejuice, and I was moved in within a week. So
Aw.
Good God.
been there ever since. So any mate that you can that I figured that I could get that could actually tolerate me was one to keep. So
Yeah, man.
That was
Good
the way.
job.
So how long?
Somebody
has that
asked.
been- how
Somebody
long has
asked
that
me.
been lasting, Randy?
That's been 30. And, I don't remember the exact number, but I'm guessing. She never listens to these shows anyway. But 32, I think 32 years.
Wow.
That's
she-
a while.
She is a bigger reader. Oh, yeah. And I won't say, and we never had a fight. I won't say that. But 32 years, and still rolling, still here.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, man.
but I honestly don't regret a second of it. So
Good.
that's the way it works.
Well, good.
It's a good thing to have in a marriage. It's not regret.
Yeah, really. Well, you keep.
Yeah. Huh?
It, see, the somebody asked me yesterday, you still married to her? They were joking around. Yeah. Why are you still married to her? Because she can put up with me. Thank you. That was
Oh,
the
Jesus. That's mean.
that was the truth. She can put up with me. So LMAO, I was playing. He does have more comics than my local comic shop. Well, good for you. Cool.
Yeah, no. That means reading material. That's always a good thing.
Yeah. Well, the wife was a lot more avid reader than I was. During COVID, she read a book a day.
Wow.
We're talking paperbacks by major writers book.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's how fast she reads. I'm lucky if I can read a book a week.
Depending on the time off, I'm about a book a day too.
Yeah.
But time off, that is the big,
Her
big
mother-
thing right now.
Yeah. Her mother was an avid reader as well. And when she passed, the books collection became our collection. So
Uh-huh.
we ran 2 carloads to the local, donated to the local library. And we have a second story of the house that's now nothing but a set of
Wow.
bookcases, bookshelves that line all
Wow.
4 wall, all three of the 4 walls. The fourth wall has a bed on that, and they're all jammed with paperback books. She used to collect paperbacks by the author. So when Reacher started up on Amazon Prime, she runs upstairs and pulls down like 16 titles by this guy with a character in it.
Wow.
I think I've got him upstairs. She hasn't gotten to him yet, but she will.
Oh, my God. Reach is a really good series.
It was surprisingly well done.
It was. I
It was.
thought the character in it, and the writer, Lee Childs, admits that he was writing in a pulp style on purpose.
Yeah.
It's a really fast-paced, action-packed series, and that's really cool. That kind of entertain. There's definitely room for that kind of entertainment, but the cool thing about the Amazon series is that they kept true to the character, and it's really a
Yes.
character, really a well-designed, well-thought-out character that gets put into different situations, and finding an actor who looks like the character, who has the same build and is a good actor, is incredibly rare. So
Yeah.
that guy, I want to Alan
Richardson.
Richardson. Yeah.
Richardson. RITCHSON. I think that's his name.
He did the Motor City Con this year.
Wow.
About a day before they announced he was going to be in the next Fast and Furious movie.
Oh.
So I'm like,
Oh, no.
what a get for the local convention.
Oh, no.
To get this guy
Wow.
not just signed in, but signed in with the publicity that he's hanging with the big guys now. So
Oh, my
and
God.
you look at this
Pretty
guy and you go, and I thought, because I hadn't seen I didn't recognize him when he was
Mhm.
first up. It's just such a great character study, especially if you have any questions about seeing it, get Amazon Prime and watch the pilot. That's all you
It's
have
good.
to do.
Oh,
It
yeah,
is good.
It is good.
The first episode is so well written, paced, and done that they have a scene in there that, and the actor is immense. You know, he's 6'6", he's well built, he's a presence. They actually have a scene of him walking down the street, which is probably in the books, and everybody
Yeah.
reacting to him because he's unusual looking.
Yeah,
That is
Yeah, they probably hired a Dutchman.
no dialogue. Yeah, no dialogue, just him walking and that says everything you need to know about the character. And it's like
Nice.
he doesn't talk for the first 15 minutes of the show,
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
but he's there. And that's all you need to know, is that he's there. He goes into a restaurant and he starts eating pie. You know,
well, now he doesn't get the pie yet.
he doesn't get the pie until
He orders
the
He gets the
last
pie later. He gets the pie later.
until almost the last, I think the last show of the season before he gets gets the pie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's worth your time. It's a really great
it's really
pulp
good.
style character study, and you know there needs to be. Let's see more of that. You know, I
Yeah.
want to see a streaming show of Doc Savage. I want to see a streaming show of the Spider. Desperately bad, and set it in the 30s. You know, let's see some of that.
I'd like to
stuff
see some of this stuff done in the time it was written.
Yeah.
yes.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
because it really does work well for that time period.
And
Sometimes
some of it
plays a
needs
big
to be,
part.
and we've
Yeah.
talked about that on this show before. Like Ian Fleming's James Bond material
Yeah.
really needs to be dated in that
Yeah.
time period that it was written in.
Yeah.
Because
Agreed.
honestly,
Agreed.
that was the intention of the author in the first place. You know, I think Fantastic Four would work set in the 60s, and I think it desperately needs to be there too. And they need to go through like put it on a separate universe than the MCU now, and just run it.
Yeah.
And just run the Marvel universe as it was seen at the time that they showed it.
Well, they've
Yeah.
got 100 issues of Kirby and Lee storyboards there to work out, haven't they?
Yes,
should
they do.
They should follow those as best they could, I think.
And
But they're
what
not.
great stories that would be, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I always thought Eisner, the Spirit's the same way. I always thought
Yeah.
the Spirit should have been 10, 15-minute cartoons.
Yeah.
Each segment be a separate cartoon.
I think with
Even-
with the Fantastic Four, they should leave the uniforms the way they had them and stop redesigning everything and redesigning Galactus. I know I didn't want Galactus a cloud when we last saw him.
Oh golly, yeah.
He was never a cloud, was he?
Well, that
And-
was
No.
they had to save money on that movie because they
Well.
spent all that money on trying to
Well.
make Silver Surfer look right.
Well, don't do it then. That's the way I
No,
do
they
it.
shouldn't have done it. But anyway, the first time Galactus shows up, he's got a gigantic G on his chest.
Ooh, wow.
So, you know, hey, I know English. Poof.
No.
See the G. I am Galactus. It's like,
I'm
yeah,
gonna tell you, that's the one thing that came out of Eternals that was interesting was the end when you saw the
Star Fox?
what's it called? No. Celestial in the sky
Yeah.
over the
Yeah.
earth, and
Yeah.
everybody's looking up. It's like, oh, okay, I could totally see Galactus now.
But
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
I think that G on Galactus's chest stands for God. because Stan Lee said the story goes, I don't know whether it's true or not, but he said to Kirby, have them meet God. So Galactus came along, and that's what the G's for, God, not Galactus.
maybe
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Well, as long as he doesn't have a helicopter named after him, I'm fine with it. You know, whatever.
I can just see Jack sitting there going, God needs a herald, you know, and I'm gonna put Oscar on a surfboard. How you like that?
That's how that went, though, isn't it?
So that's
Yeah.
Stan calls him up. What's this? It's a herald. He's coming in before the god does.
Mhm.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can write that. So
I can
look
change the entire character on that. Yeah.
look at how that character turned out. You know.
Yeah.
Stan said, I've heard him say a couple of times that was his favorite character was the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, somebody you really had nothing to do with. But okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, yes and no, because it might not be the look of the character that Stan likes as much as what the character meant.
But-
Because he
yeah,
was such
could
a
Yeah.
a stranger in a strange land type situation where Kirby, or not Kirby, but Lee had a chance to expound great amounts of text about the inhumanity, man's inhumanity to man.
Yep.
You know, you read the Mobius Lee Silver Surfer Galactus story. It's really amazing, truly epic, just crazy stuff. But most of the Silver Surfer, I won't say all, most of the Silver Surfer stuff was incredible, especially the early work, John Buscema's and Kirby's work. And Kirby was too busy to do the regular book at the time, or he would have. And I'm sure I would have loved to have seen a regular title. That would have been great to see him come back when he came back in the 70s and do a Silver Surfer title, because that would have been truly cosmic, especially right during that time when Starlin was doing Captain Marvel and doing some cosmic stuff. Would have been really cool to see. You were saying, Glenn?
I'm going to say that Kirby was offered the FF when he came back in 75, wasn't he? But or 74, whatever it was, and he said he didn't want to do that. The only character he took was Captain America. He wanted to bring other stuff in that, which is why he did the Eternals and then the adaptations of 2001 and Machine Man and all that kind of stuff. He wanted to work on new characters.
And in between that, he did do Black Panther fighting a giant toad.
He did, yes, he did, and he did do the Surfer graphic novel as well.
Yes,
but that was I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like the Shalabal girlfriend. It just makes it,
I think he created her. Actually, I think Kirby had the majority of the plot for that, and Lee just came in and did the script. I think there's a comic kayfabe episode about that book. Right. Where they're talking that they actually did that graphic novel as a one-shot intentionally for Hollywood to show them that they could. And so they needed that romance element. They needed to flesh the character out a little harder. And that's why the story is the way that it is, as in order to attract a movie. That never quite happened. Stan was out in Hollywood by that point, and he was desperately trying to get anything on film. That's why we ended up with Daredevil in the black suit on the Hulk TV show, and the embarrassing-looking Thor that was on there. And the Captain America with the clear shield that he used as a windshield for his bike.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
Hey, the Spider-Man was cool though. The Spider-Man was still cool, even with the little web slings.
Very rarely seen. Yeah. That lasted
for
that
was
season,
fun.
I think, something like that. Yeah.
I think it was a couple of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all I had to say. It used to rerun.
Oh no. You first.
No, go ahead, Rich.
Okay. That show was in the 70s, the late 70s.
Yeah.
And the only time you ever saw a Spider-Man climbing the walls or anything was when he was scaffolding or something on the side. It's like, and it's clear that it's like someone attached to a rope, at the side of it or something. It's supposed to double as the web, but it's like, yeah, we know what that is.
They should have just done a Batman and Robin and turned the camera sideways.
I was thinking about that point in time, they had that technology to do that, right?
Yeah, you would think.
I think Raimi did that for the first Maguire Spider-Man.
Probably.
He did. There were a couple of scenes when he was fighting the Green Goblin, and they made a set like the wall of the building where the parade was happening in Times Square, and they just flipped it over, and it's like, haha, look, I'm on this wall now, and I'm gonna be Spider-Man, and it's like, no, we know what it is. Sorry.
Even as a kid watching the Adam West show, you knew the angle was funny because the guys come open the window up, and they're not quite standing or leaning in directly.
Yeah.
In the TV show, I don't remember, were the capes the right way?
Yes.
They probably had
someone was holding them up.
I don't think they were.
Yeah, they were on
the string.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I remember that now. Jesus, God help me.
Just classic. They have. I don't know how much of a copyright strike we would end up getting here if we showed them, but there was an entire collection of them at one point.
Oh God, that's right. I remember that actually. It's on YouTube, isn't it?
There you go. They're on a string. There you go.
Yeah.
It's literally you can pretty much see the string.
This is a clip from TV Land, and we won't show all of it. But somebody's already sharing it. What's up with that? Get rid of that, Mike.
That's me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't share. I didn't think it would share automatically. So
How about that? There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is from TV Land, and I think I'm going to mute the music because the last time when we showed that, I think it was the Captain Scarlet bit that we showed last week. We were showing off some of the art, Glenn, and you weren't here from the ending of Captain Scarlet. I think we got it.
I was
a little slap on the wrist from that. Yeah. So we'll show this without any sound. There they are climbing up, and their capes aren't right. See that? They're not straight down, but they're climbing up the side, and there he is. Oh, it's Jerry.
Oh, there he is. The king of comedy. Isn't he like a god in France or something like that?
Yes,
or was that David Hasselhoff?
Archer sure is a tough cookie, Batman.
Stale is a better adjective, Robin.
God, this dialogue.
Must be new in Gotham City.
He's from Philadelphia. How did you know? You dipped your dip on. People from Philadelphia are known for that.
We're Batman and Robin, the crime fighters.
Are you a vocal group? I beg your pardon. I thought perhaps you might be a singing duo. You know, the outfits and all that? No, we're duly deputized officers of the law. You may return to your business, citizen.
Jesus.
Gee whiz, Batman.
Gee whiz,
Dropping
Batman.
in on a drugstore might have been easy.
Exercise never hurt anyone, Robin.
Oh, they're having such a rough time.
Always keep the
I know.
element of surprise on our side.
Ha
What are you doing here?
Oh,
I might ask you the same question. Pursuing the enemies of law and order wherever they happen to be. Aren't you in the wrong city? On special assignment for the Daily Sentinel. You know my aide, Cato? Robin, the boy wonder. Well, I don't want to hold you up from your crime fighting.
He's literally standing
Thank
on
you. Good
Cato's
luck to
back
you,
to
Mr.
get that.
yeah, right.
Nice to meet you. Gosh, Batman, what are they dressed like that for? This should be good practice. Something ever takes us to Mount Everest, Batman.
One more. We won't show all 14 of them.
Planning our campaign against evil to Gotham City for some time to come, old chum. It needs us.
Hey, Batman and Robin. What are you guys doing?
Just
Oh,
routine
yes.
planning.
Would you like
Yes.
to come inside? I'm rehearsing.
Thank you, citizen, but our pursuit of justice allows us few diversions.
Oh,
Be seen.
hi, Robin.
Hey, man.
Hey, you guys come and catch my act sometime. I dig yours. All right, fellas, one more time. From a whippoorwill.
Nice.
We better hurry, Batman.
Not too fast, Robin.
Not too fast, Robin. Anyway,
That's quite ironic that you would say be singing you to Sammy Davis, isn't it? Seeing he
that was.
only had
Oh
one eye.
my God.
But that shows you how
Oh,
popular
man.
that show was.
Yeah,
How-
be singing
Yeah.
you, maybe not.
Yeah, for a short period of time, everybody wanted to be on that show. So, and you see
Oh,
that
man.
angle that Sammy Davis was on. He must have been standing on 2 tables in order to get that high up on the.
No, well, he's only 4
I think
foot
he was
9,
laying
standing on
down.
4 tables.
Right.
I think it was laying down.
No, he was standing up straight. It's just the
Really?
angle of the camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because to me, if you turn it 90 degrees counterclock, and it's like, okay, we're going across that building, and then they open the window, and it's like, hey, I don't know. It looked like to me they were laying down or something.
They were
Maybe I'm wrong.
were standing up and opening the window up above them. You know,
Yeah.
it was on a low thing so that they could stand up and have their chest and head poking out of the window.
Love that. That is so
they
damn
were
funny.
Batman and Robin were crawling, on a flat floor. That's why Robin
Yeah.
can wave one-handed at Sammy and not lose his grip. Classic stuff.
Seeing ya.
Great stuff.
I love that
Oh,
animosity
man.
that they had when Green Hornet shows up. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? It's like,
Yeah. And who's that guy with you? Holy, he looks kind of familiar. I think I've seen some
Oh,
movies with
man.
that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the time period around there, it's a good thing they had network censors, because Robin would have said something entirely different.
Yeah, well, especially with everything that was going on that is said to have been going on behind the scenes at the time. It was pretty that was the era of free love and good drugs. So
oh god,
Oh my God.
there was a lot of weirdness going on behind the scenes, apparently.
And to think that
Oh, I'll bet.
Bruce Lee was dead about 6 years later, wasn't he?
Who?
Yeah, Bruce Lee. Yeah, he died in
Bruce
the early
Lee, yeah.
70s, didn't
Yep. It wasn't much
he?
longer.
Yeah, that's right.
He was able to cut a couple movies, and then that was it. Yeah.
wow.
Yep.
Man.
Sarah said, glad to hear about the show. Check it out, Reacher. Yeah. It says I read 2 issues of different titles to get a better idea of what grabbed my attention. Pretty interesting results. You have a problem when an avid collectors cut you off. Hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listening mode, informative learning happening while I gobble up. Yeah. Postmaster Dan in the house. A masterpiece
Hey.
of
Hello,
practical
Postmaster
effects.
Dan.
Yes. But the Batman.
Oh, the older the show goes, the thinner the budget gets, and it gets more and more interesting. Their 3rd season was pretty fascinating. Well, especially I think they added Batgirl in that season as well. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you
she was
on.
hot.
Mm.
Damn,
I just
she was
remember.
hot.
I remember the film where he was on the pier with that bomb, and he was
Yeah.
and he was going to throw it over the edge, and there was a couple of nuns there, and then there was a woman with a buggy and a kid, and then there was something else, and he's running around, but it said bomb on it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
It's a great big round cherry bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it helped, I mean, it made it really easy for him.
Didn't a shark come up and bite it and take it away?
No. What happened was he couldn't get rid of the damn thing. He finally found a spot, and all of a sudden he looks over the edge of the pier, and it's a whole bunch of ducklings swimming, and he's like, some of these days. He looks over and he's like, some of these days you just can't get rid of a bomb. And it's just like he starts running, and then it explodes after he leaves the camera, and then Robin is like, Batman, he's looking over the same damn pier where the ducks were a second ago, and it's like, Batman. He's like, hey, man, I'm all right. Don't worry about it. I'm good. And yes, there was a shark thing, but I think it was a torpedo that was launched, and it was going to hit something, and like Batman was trying to disarm it, but then he realizes there's a shark on his leg, and it's like, oh, all right. Hey, Robin, can you get the shark repellent bat spray? And he opens the glove compartment, and it's like, all right, manta, whale, octopus, shark. Yes, I gotta get that. So he gets the shark, chucks the aerosol spray can down to Batman. He goes, and it's like, haha. The shark is like, oh, this really stinks. I must leave, and he does. And that's it. And it's never mentioned again. That's it. No tearing of flesh, no destruction of any musculature, or maybe he had the fabric woven with high tensile carbon fiber. No, he just like, okay, there you go. Bye, shark. Now let's get the bad guys.
I bet Steven Spielberg was watching it and thought, I could do something with that. Maybe.
He probably was. He probably was.
Or Michael Crichton, as it wrote the book.
Peter Benchley wrote draws. Yeah, Peter Benchley.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and that's a whole nother story of practical effect nightmares. Yeah,
that was back when Batman could still solve riddles.
True.
God.
Nowadays you can't even duck. So
didn't know you could climb Spoonie. Now I know.
Oh yeah,
Sarah
gotta
says,
get real close in there.
Nice.
You can do anything you want if you really put your mind to it. Hey.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb, Master Dan.
That is true.
One
of those days.
It's really classic. I need to sit there and watch it again. But I remember the 3rd season in Batman where they had something happening on the deck of a ship, and the way that they showed that was a couple of crates, an exhaustion porthole, and a string rope with
oh Jesus.
with little metal stands between it. You know, like a rope you see outside of a nightclub. That was a ship.
Yeah.
So and that and a foghorn noise. You know, everything else was. And it was all done in primary colors too, so everything could be bright for color.
Yeah,
crazy
Oh
stuff.
my God, love it.
It's one of the fun things about seeing the remastered Star Treks is they kept that primary, basic, solid primary color all the way through, and it's bright when you see the remastered versions, and then all of the effects are computer generated, and it just looks great. Yeah, it's fantastic stuff.
What do you have you seen any episodes of Strange New Worlds yet?
I've watched them all to date. Yeah.
Are they good?
They're amazing.
Oh, really? Okay, great. Because I would like to watch them.
Considering what Discovery
was,
it is literally night and day. They whoever's writing Strange New Worlds sat down.
It's not writing that.
No, but they sat down and watched the Kirk Spock Star Treks. And they said all of this stuff takes place before this, supposedly, but it takes place in a different universe.
But the Kelvin timeline.
Yeah. But Spock is in it. Nurse Chapel's in it. Uhura's a cadet in it. Number one is played by Rebecca Romaine. Yeah, Rebecca Romaine Stamos. All the episodes are single episode stories. Some of them are incredibly good. A couple of them are a little goofy, off kilter. Spock and his fiance trade personalities like the old 1950s style mad scientist and the chicken trope, you know.
Oh no.
And they through a Vulcan ritual, of course, you know, they're bonding and suddenly they switch bodies, and because Spock is half human, they can't get back. So
oh no.
But there are some incredibly nice touches in it. Pike is the captain, Captain Pike. He's played by Anson Mount. Everybody on the show is enjoyable, and the casting is really good. The writing is passable. I mean, it's just like the old Kirk Spock Star Treks, only with more futuristic devices and a different cast.
Nice.
So yeah, it's been very entertaining. And like I said, a couple of the episodes are a little goofy, kind of off kilter, probably written by somebody who thinks that they're breaking great scientific ground when they're actually walking over old style tropes, you know. Nothing quite as ridiculous as the Spock's brain episode on the original Star Trek, but they're getting close.
That was the greatest episode I've ever seen in my life. That was the greatest ever. Spock's
so many,
brain is gone.
Yeah, there's so many really good episodes. I still watch. What's the episode name? Oh, and I've got
City on the Edge of Forever.
City on the Edge of Forever. I've that one. I've got that book. I love that episode. It's just amazing. So
that was written by Harlan Ellison, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that was. That's right.
And there's a book out that Harlan co-wrote that has the script in it, the original script that Harlan turned in. And he talks about all of the changes that he had to go through and some of the hassles that the scripting did and what they let him get away with and what they didn't let him get away with, that kind of stuff. So
didn't he stop writing for them for that reason, that they were changing a lot of his stuff?
Oh, he stopped writing for television because he got frustrated, but he was a consultant on Babylon 5. And there was a lot of Harlan that was in. Straczynski and Harlan were pretty good friends at that point, all the way through the show. Yeah. So I guess Harlan had a lot of input on that. Go ahead.
I don't know if anybody knows this. Maybe I would think Randy does, or a couple other people maybe do. Do you know that Harlan Ellison actually wrote an episode of Murder, She Wrote?
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
He wrote an episode of Murder, She Wrote, and it was like the most stark thing that I've ever seen, because if anybody's ever seen Murder, She Wrote, it's your standard one episode thingy where it's like someone in Cabot Cove is dead every week, you know, and it's like, Cabot. I mean, if you calculate it, you know, Cabot Cove, Maine of all places, with all the deaths that happen there on a constant basis, it's like the murder capital of the world, but no one, gets it.
No. It's the second biggest one. The biggest one is Midsummer Murders.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ!
3,500 people, and I think like 300 deaths over only a couple of seasons.
My God!
I also think that Harlan wrote an episode of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, which involved a giant rubber squid.
Didn't he write the Twilight Zone as well and Outer Limits?
He wrote, there's a couple of Outer Limits stories.
Did he write the Galaxy Being?
I don't remember, but I know he wrote Demon with a Glass Hand.
Yes, that's the best one.
Yeah,
that's Robert Culp, isn't it?
Yes,
that's the best.
Oh, I miss Robert Culp.
That's the best episode of that, I think. My favorite episode.
There's some Outer Limits is like Twilight Zone. Just about every episode is worth watching. Some of them are goofy, like the original Star Trek. Some of them are goofy, some of them are tropey, and some of them are just incredibly well done, just way over in writing quality than others.
Was it the Outer Limits or Twilight Zone? Because they cross over, don't they? I get mixed up. Which was it? The Outer Limits where those aliens slowed down the bullet that somebody was shooting somebody in the store, and they slowed down time, and the bullet was going across the room. Do you remember that one?
No, I don't. But
that was a good episode.
It could be in either.
Yeah,
depending upon the moral of the story. Yeah, the context. It could have been in either.
I think it was an Outer Limits where they like I said, they came back in time and they stopped time, and somebody was going to murder somebody, and they fired a shot, and the bullet was hanging in midair, while they were walking around. It's really good.
I know they had a Twilight Zone episode, I believe, where somebody went back in time to stop the Lincoln assassination.
Wow.
Didn't make it.
No.
Did you ever get to see
those fixed points, huh? Because if you can, they have in Doctor Who those fixed points of time. You can't really change that.
Yeah.
Did you ever see 1960? What is it? 1963? That was on one of the streaming services. Did that a Stephen King novel about the Kennedy assassination?
November. It was I saw that.
It was named after the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he comes back after stopping the Kennedy assassination. There's like Kennedy what are they called? Concentration camps or something.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Real Sound of Thunder. I'm still waiting for them to faithfully adapt that that short story.
I know they had a lower budget movie come out.
Yeah. They didn't quite stick to the story though.
Yeah.
I remember reading it in high school and being very affected by it. It's the first real use of the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's where it came from, actually. The guy had a butterfly stuck to the bottom of his shoe, and he come back, the world was completely different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Was it Chinese rule or something?
The awful CGI intro with the flying cars and everything, and it's like, oh my God, this aged before it aged.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good movie overall, but my God, there was no budget on the CGI whatsoever.
Well, they did the same thing with that too. They modernized that story, right? It wasn't. When did it take place? The original.
It took place slightly in the future when time travel was viable.
Yeah, like 2050 or something.
Not that it'll ever be viable in real life, but
no.
Yeah.
It's too impractical. I don't think we'll ever see time travel.
Well, if there was time travel, we'd know because they'd be here, wouldn't they?
Well, no, I keep telling folks, there was a guy that they caught 6 years ago who tried to stop the Trump inauguration, or not inauguration, but the Trump nomination. And he said he was from the future, and that if Trump got the nomination, that everything that would follow would be a disaster.
Well,
and I'm thinking, maybe they somewhere up the line they do invent time travel after all.
Like it was so good that he would even get anywhere near a nomination.
Yeah. Well, it was anyway. Let's not get into politics.
Okay, well, let's be honest though. If you're going to be from the future and you're a time traveler, at least predict something innocuous. I think everybody understood that was going to happen. So it's not like he came out and said,
it wasn't the fact that he was president. It was the fact that as president, everything triggered everything else, and it was like a domino effect, is what he said.
Well, I have to tell you that I've currently got every piece of Jack Kirby artwork in my studio because I've invented a time machine. I've gone back to 1970 and got it all. So
all of those, all that missing artwork. Now we know where it's at.
But I've not invented it yet because I've not got it.
There we go.
Rich,
Why?
we're going to organize a heist.
Yes, a time heist.
But isn't it amazing though that the Library of Congress, I believe, in Washington, ended up getting a manila envelope one day that had all of the original art from Amazing Fantasy 15 in it.
Yeah.
Something was going on there. Something was going on there. So there's a lot of things that, little glitches. They've got photographs of people in the 1800s on cell phones and all sorts of stuff, depending upon what you want to believe. So there was a crew of a group of 6 kids that swore that they were part of, or not, they were adults at this point, but they swore that as kids they were sent back in time. And they have different pictures of themselves in the early 1900s.
Yeah, it's like the famous one with the girls with the fairies, isn't it?
Yeah.
They finally proved that to be a fake, haven't they?
Yeah.
So.
Well, you can do a lot of amazing things with Photoshop, and have been able to for the last 20 years.
Maybe that's part of the conspiracy that they've allowed it to be proved to be fake when actually, really it is real.
That's the entire alien conspiracy right there.
Yeah.
Swamp gas, yeah.
Because I'm waiting with the advances in Photoshop, and this metadata thing where you can't alter. Well, I would imagine you can, and I'm very confident that soon somebody will actually produce a picture of Lee Oswald in that window when he wasn't really in the window. But
deep fakes, yeah.
And all the metadata will be right and all that kind of thing,
John Titter, what? Critical Blast says prove that we can fake it. Therefore, it is fake. Yeah.
John Titter, he was a guy on the internet claiming to be a time traveler for a while.
Oh, okay. Yeah, could be. Yeah. I don't remember their names. I just remember what they said. Sarah says, hell, I made that prediction the moment he started running for president. He'd already proved
That's what I'm saying. You got to be a little bit more.
And this
president, it's like you got to come up with something else,
Whoever shut down his Twitter account for 11 minutes is a genius.
We need a seismic, give me a seismic earthquake that comes up, something, You got to have something a little more.
That's why I love the old TV show. Didn't get much distance, called Journeyman, and it was about a guy that got yanked back in time to fix the little things. A relationship, people talking, kept a guy from committing suicide in front of a bus, that kind of stuff. Because he eventually, by the end, and the show only lasted 13 episodes. You can't find it on streaming everywhere, but it's genius. It's just, everything about it is just great. But in the last episode, he runs across another time traveler who tells him that all the little stuff you're doing is literally keeping a big thing from happening. And that it's always the little things that add up. That, and he can always tell a time traveler by the type of shoes that he's wearing. And they get yanked back in time with whatever they have on. He says it's the shoes. It's always the shoes.
I love that original Time Machine with Rod Taylor in from 1960, especially the part. It's just I'm watching this as a young kid. It really made an impression on me when he's trapped in that cave, I think, and he has to go back 25 million years to now to drag his machine across the lawn.
Yeah.
And then goes back. I think that's
to go back.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic.
That's science fiction romance right there.
Yeah,
that's what you do for love.
And then
you go forward in time just to drag your machine a few feet to get on the other side of that door.
Yeah, and then he meets his friend's son, and he thinks it's him, doesn't he? But it's his son.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
That's true love.
Yeah. Fabulous. They don't make them like that anymore.
No, hail Chris. That's George Pal too.
Hey Chris,
who made that same thing. I'll still sit and watch. Poop! I just had it. When Worlds Collide. That's what it is.
Right.
I'll still watch that because it's still so true. You get towards the end, you hold a lottery. Everybody's going to want to get on that shit.
Yeah,
of course.
I remember watching The Day the Earth Stood Still with Michael Rennie in it, which is an absolutely fantastic film.
Another classic.
I watched the remake with what's his face in it, And it was okay, but I wouldn't watch that one again. But I would always watch Michael Rennie.
Journeyman was great. Burying the wedding ring under the patio was a great bit. Yeah, that's how he proved to his wife that he actually was traveling in time. He took her. Because he got a not quite a premonition, but he got a feeling whenever he was about to be yanked back in time. And when he got that feeling in the house, he runs up, he grabs his wife's wedding ring, I believe, that's sitting on the counter, grabs a newspaper and gets yanked back in time. Then he runs to a hardware store, buys a toolbox, buries it in the backyard, right where the patio, the concrete slab of his patio is paved over. And then when he gets yanked back to present day, after he's cured whatever he needed to cure, little thing that fixed it, gets put back in present day. His wife still thinks he's got a gambling problem, that he's been disappearing for days because he's out on a binge. He grabs her, takes her out to the patio, and goes, "How long's this deck been here?" Grabs a sledgehammer, and she's like, "It's been here ever since we've been here." And he takes it and he bangs into the concrete slab, digs up the toolbox, opens it up, opens the toolbox up. There's the newspaper. There's her ring.
Wow!
And goes, "There, look, I'm not in control of this thing. I'm being yanked back and forth in time." And she's just stunned. And then the very end, at the very end of the show, he feels that he's in bed with her and feels a premonition, gets up, gets dressed, sits in the chair, wakes her up just as he gets yanked back in time, and she gets to see it.
Wow. You can realize why she doesn't believe him, though, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's part of the fun of the show, is that nobody believes him. And like in the second episode, he's out driving his brand new Mustang car and gets yanked back in time. The car crashes, and they felt that he crashed the car and ran because he didn't want to get caught. And he's had this gambling problem for most that he licked. I mean. And hadn't been gambling for a couple of years. So they all thought he was back on it again, and that he was drinking and binging and gambling and doing all of this stuff while he was gone. And he had a brother who's a detective. It takes him forever to convince him. But the wife eventually accepts it because there's no other explanation. And then once she shows her the newspaper that's been buried for years, and the wedding ring, she's pretty well convinced at that point. But that the whole series is one long story of him being pulled back and thrown forward, and he gets pulled back, and he realizes that his ex, he had a fiance who passed before he met and married his current wife and had a baby. The fiance is actually from the 1940s, and she's being yanked forward.
Oh shit!
And she disappeared. So when on one of his trips back, he starts running into her, and he runs into her over and over again. They figure out that the same thing is happening to both of them, that she's being yanked forward, he's being yanked backwards, and they're trying to fix different events.
Okay, I gotta find that now. That sounds fascinating.
Oh, it's a great, I want to say Alan Ball is the guy who wrote it. He ended up going, he was so fed up. He was writing it during the writer's strike over here in the States, and they NBC had the show originally. That's why I really wanted to get Peacock as a streaming service, hoping that it was on there, and it's not. Amazon Prime had it for a while, but I would love to have a set of it just to sit and watch it, because every time I found it on a streaming service, I'd sit and watch the whole thing a couple of times over, because it's so expertly written. It's just a beautifully written piece of television. Because he was in the midst of the writer's strike, and they started treating the show really bad, putting it on different time slots and all this. And it's a continuing story. And right now, if it were to be out now, and they're close, I think, though I haven't watched it, HBO Max has got The Time Traveler's Wife, which is almost got the same feel, except that when he gets yanked back in time, he loses his clothing.
Oh, God.
So
they canceled that show.
The Time Traveler's Wife?
Yeah, it's canceled, I think.
Oh.
That's what happened.
Probably
to
nobody was watching it, but
that's what happened to Arnie, wasn't it? He lost his clothes, didn't he, when he went back in time?
Yeah. Well, no, he had to strip down because it wouldn't.
He had to strip down.
It would only take organic matter. Yeah,
I know.
But that's why he was covered in a fake skin as a Terminator, because he had to be. It had to be organic matter that got yanked back. But in Journeyman, he was being time slotted in different places, and he knew that they were probably going to end the show. They ended it halfway into the season at episode 13, and he was able on the 13th show to loop everything back around to the first one. and it's just fantastic writing. And he was so fed up with the networks, the main networks, that he stopped working for them and ended up doing a goofy series about a couple of lawyers on TNT called Franklin and Bash. That was just exactly the opposite from Journeyman. It was stupid, it was goofy, and it had Malcolm McDowell in it though, which was kind of fun. But
oh yeah,
I remember that show
of loony
like
lawyers doing loony things, so that he didn't have to try to do anything serious. But I wish he would come back to that idea again and redo Journeyman. But they'd have a hard time finding it. It was one of those shows. Perfect writing, perfect cast, perfect acting, just everything on it clicked, and it was just a great 13 episodes. One of my favorite TV shows. That and Babylon 5, I'll talk about all day. But anyway.
Let me ask you a question. On the Star Trek films with the new ones, the latest, the current ones,
right?
Was it Sulu who was crushed to death? The actor?
No, it was Chekhov. Anton Yelchin.
Chekhov.
Anton Yelchin,
yeah. That's what have they replaced him then? I presume they have.
No, not yet. They
haven't done another movie since.
Yeah. Oh, right.
They haven't done another movie since because there had been a rights problem going on about which Star Trek and who owned what and who owned which Star Trek, because the first Chris Pine movie, they split the universe up. They had Nimoy in it, and Nimoy went back in time and changed everything. And then one or two movies after that, they had Benedict Cumberbatch playing Khan, the same Ricardo Montalban character. Yeah. And they showed that the timelines were split because when Nimoy went back in time, for whatever logical reason, which doesn't make logical sense to me, he told the Federation about all of his experiences. So they knew everything that happened in all of the Star Treks up to the point where Nimoy went back in time. So they started going through and screwing with the timeline. So the timeline's different. So in Strange New Worlds, it's a whole different timeline. And they already know, for example, the Gorn has already invaded Federation space, and they're a ruthless, almost alien race. The movie Alien Race. And one of the characters in Strange New Worlds is one of the few survivors of one of their attacks, and very few people have seen what the Gorn look like. But in the old world, they didn't know the Gorn existed until that alien race put a Gorn and Kirk on a planet and had them fight it up.
Yeah.
But now the Gorn are invading a section of Federation space that they've bumped into, and they plant eggs in people that burst out like Alien, only in bigger.
That's a good idea.
Bigger, little. Yeah. Not well. It doesn't sound original, but the way that they're doing it is nice and unique, and it's not as bad as the same as Alien that you go, oh, come on, guys.
I don't watch these things.
Come up with something new.
No, me neither.
I can't get my head around all this stuff. I just don't understand why they just can't make something new up.
Well, with Strange New Worlds, you just got to brain check it and watch it. And it's fun. It's good. So it's space opera, and it's got a great cast. It's got good enough writing to be entertaining, and so you're not. It doesn't pull you out as much as it keeps you there and just entertains you for an episode.
You see, we don't watch any TV at all, basically.
Yeah.
No.
Well, then you've been lucky to have missed the last 4 or 5 years of Doctor Who. So.
Oh, I've missed the last 15 years of Doctor Who. The last Doctor Who I watched was Eccleston. And then after that, I thought, no. In fact, the only piece I think I've seen in the past, since Eccleston left, was the Van Gogh bit in the paintings.
Oh, yeah.
That is a legendary episode.
Just, I've not seen the episode. I've only seen that 10 minutes where he goes to the Louvre to see the paintings, or wherever they are.
No, it's the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. That's the only piece I've seen, because that to me is one of the greatest pieces of television ever written, and acting and everything. Yeah, it's fabulous. But I just don't watch the rest of it.
That whole Tenet episode, Matt Smith. I'm sorry, that whole Matt Smith episode. Karen Gillian is the companion on that. Just brilliant. Just great writing. Yeah,
probably the only good Matt Smith episode. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Yeah, probably. Now that you mention it, probably yes. Yeah. Some of the Angel stuff that he did was fun, but
Oh yeah.
The Weeping Angels,
started
that
with
was
Tenet, though.
creepiest.
It started
Yeah,
with
much
Tenet.
better.
So
the Tenet Library two-parter where he first meets River, I think is just. I think that's just beautiful. That's what
cool.
What gave.
Yeah.
That's what made Moffat the showrunner, because he wrote those two episodes. That's just a
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
piece of science fiction.
When is the new guy in it?
Not
new
for
Doctor?
another year, I don't think. There's a.
Right.
I think they have a year of Whitaker, and then they have 3 specials they're supposed to be doing with Tenet.
Yeah, they're doing 3 specials with Tenet. Whitaker's here for another year because it's going to be this big blowout when she, when she regenerates into this other guy or whatever it's supposed to be. And there's more excitement for David Tennant and Catherine Tate than there is for this new Doctor, from what I hear over here. So
no, it really is.
I'm like, well, oh boy.
Then in 18 months now it'll be 60 years, won't it?
Yeah, that's why they're doing the Tenet episodes. Is what they're it's to celebrate their 60th anniversary, because Tenet was the most popular Doctor. So, at least of the new runs.
I wonder, was he the best?
No, Tom Baker's
is he the best Doctor?
Of the new ones?
Of the new ones, yeah.
Of the new ones?
Yeah, as far as, because it's the only one that he could play the Doctor and the stories were good. Now, I did like Capaldi. I thought Capaldi would have been a great Doctor, but the stories never lived up to how well he could act.
No, the writing was really bad.
Only the first series with Capaldi, and then the rest was like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Well,
it's gonna start sucking.
I think the last season he actually got to be the Doctor, I think, and he made a speech about, don't screw with me, I'm the Doctor. That was really, really well done. But the rest of it was just horrible. It's like people they hire these folks and they have no idea of the character that they've got control over, and they just go up, or maybe they do, and they just want to deconstruct it and tear it to shreds.
Yeah, I can't. I couldn't stand Chibnall. It's like he had an agenda instead of stories.
Yeah.
He had agendas, and he was just absolutely pathetic. I could not stand his writing.
No, and he admitted, which was a downfall, which was a big flaw to whoever decided to put him in charge, that he had never been a fan of science fiction to start with.
Yeah.
Well,
which is like, why are you here? Get out. Get out.
What the fuck?
Well, they thought. I think it was by association, because he was on that show, and was Whitechapel or something like that also had Whitaker and Tennant on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was by association that he got the show running for Doctor Who, because Whitaker was coming over to be the Doctor.
Well,
and it's like, you can't necessarily match the writer with the actor. That doesn't work that well, especially when it's a totally different character. And I would have given Whitaker a chance. In fact, I did give Whitaker a chance.
Yeah, I know, right?
And it's not that Whitechapel isn't great. I mean, Whitechapel is good, but
it's not science fiction.
They can't. Yeah, this is a whole different animal when you're handling an IP like this that should be considered as sacred as possible, especially as an English icon.
What are they doing with what are they doing with Barrymore, whatever he's called, after his fall from grace? What are they doing with that character?
He's back in one of the
I
Tenet
don't know.
episodes.
I actually he is?
Captain Jack's supposed to show up in one of those 3 episodes.
Wait,
Jesus.
What happened to him? What did he do?
And he's supposed to be back in the newest Doctor too, from what I understand.
Oh no.
He was
Face of Bo.
What happened to him?
He was the face of Bo.
Yeah.
He was
alleged to have done inappropriate stuff.
Was he?
Oh.
Yeah. So
well,
he would just pull out his penis at any given time, at any moment on the set. It's like, haha, my penis. And people were like, what the hell are you doing this for? You're out of your damn mind.
Yeah.
That's what he was known to do.
Wow. So he really is Captain Jack Harkness, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess. I mean, it's like, first off,
right.
I don't care about John. What's his name? Barrowman? What's his name?
Barrowman. Yeah.
I like Captain Jack, but I don't care about the damn actor. He's an idiot. I mean, he's nasty to people on the set, from what I understand. And it's like, all right, you can't die. You were the big fat guy at the end of the Cab episode with David Tennant. That's it. That's your story.
From what I've read, they've told Davies, who's coming back as showrunner, Russell Davies, to take the property and turn it into an MCU type situation. They've got all sorts of spin-offs
No.
planned.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Oh my God, who's Loki?
And one
Good
of those
God.
one of those spin-offs is he's supposed to be bringing Torchwood back.
Oh, he would. That was his pet project. That's why he left
Yeah.
Doctor Who in the first place.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why he came back. There is apparently a Torchwood novel that he wrote somewhere down the line that they're going to put on that they're going to film now.
I actually didn't watch that show, and it's not didn't have anything against it. It just didn't appeal to me.
I
It's kinda
loved
like
the first couple seasons. I thought they were great, but then it just fell flat on its face after a while. And
I did watch the
have to
Sarah Jane
ask.
Adventures, though. So, what does that tell you? Not all of them, but some of them.
I
Sarah
have to
Jane?
ask this crowd over here. If there was a choice instead of the guy who's going to be Doctor Who now, would you pick? If anybody knows the shows, the It Crowd or What We Do in the Shadows, would you want Richard Ayoade or Matt Berry as the Doctor? Is either of those guys would be absolutely fantastic.
I don't know either of those shows. I had heard that Hugh Grant was supposed to be in the running. I was hoping he.
That would be awesome if he got it. Oh my God!
He didn't have any interest in doing it anyway. He
Oh
shot that
man!
down quickly. I would go Richard Ayoade.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
I
even
love
with-
Richard Ayoade.
Because Matt Berry's syntax, the way he talks, that's actually the way he talks. So it'd be really hard to disassociate him from like Douglas or even what was he, the Mighty Boosh. So
There's a video. Oh my God! There's a video. I don't know if any of you've seen it, where it was he was like that actor. What's his name? Toast. That guy. The actor Toast when he was on that show. Oh my God, the Toast of London. There's this thing. I'm going to send it to Randy, and I want it. Randy, if you could play this for me, it's funny as hell. It really is. I'm going to send you the link to it in a minute because it's just funny as all shit. I swear to God.
Is it a YouTube video?
Yes. Let me send it to you via Facebook chat. Just give me a moment.
Well, let me know
funny
how long
as
YouTube.
hell.
Let me know how long YouTube has had it posted before I run it.
Okay. April 1st.
Of this year?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, that might cause copyright issues.
Yeah, that might
Oh,
cause
if it does, then don't. All right, if that's the case, well, yeah, it was posted. Yeah, it was posted April 1st.
Yeah, let me take a look at it here.
Was it the sound booth one?
Yes. When he's
it's funny. He brings everything into it, and he's not. It's crazy because he's not always the same character, but he's.
No, he's not. But yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the 2-minute one where he's actually Doctor Who, oh my God, it's a scream. It is so funny. Oh man, I love it. I've watched it a bunch of times. It's like a thing where it's like, oh my God, this is funny as hell. But if you can't play it, you can't play it. I mean, I apologize. I hope I don't get you in trouble or anything, Randy.
You never know.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
And since I'm on here, it probably will get a copyright strike. Since it seems to be the case every time I'm on here.
Huh.
I think Hanna-Barbera pulled one on it.
Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah.
Who's the guy playing the Doctor on this?
Matt Berry.
I've never seen him before. What's he done?
What we do in the Shadows, the It Crowd. What was that other one with
he's done The Dark Place.
The Dark Place, yes.
Dark Place. Oh golly.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous
Ghost
about
of
right. It's
London.
only had 130,000 views.
What is it?
So-
Snuffbox?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Randy, if you feel any doubt in any way, don't play it. It's okay.
All right. Well, it's over on YouTube. It's introducing the new Doctor is the title of it. So, many of our
it's
viewers
funny
wanna
as
go
hell.
over and take a look here. I'll even put the link in the chat.
Yeah, he's
That way anybody can watch it that wants to see it.
He's been around, but he's kind of part of the same crowd. Noel Felding, Julian Barrett, Richard Ayoade.
Oh yeah. I just started watching the It Crowd, and I'm in the first season. It is. I just started watching it.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and but Matt Berry comes in on the second season because in the first one his dad dies. So he just comes in and he just takes over the damn show. I can't wait to see them all. That's gonna be so damn funny.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Master.
So you've seen the one where they go to the gay play?
No, not yet. Not yet. I haven't seen that one yet. I haven't seen that one yet. The gay play.
Oh my god! I don't know.
Oh my God.
Ristolian says, "Am I the only one who liked Torchwood? It was good in parts. First couple seasons, I remember.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
It could have been X-Files if it was more serious, but then I was like, well. Every episode is like Spock's brain quality after a while.
So I haven't watched Torchwood, but I just finished watching the Tennant Billy Tyler run for the first time.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's a
And
great run.
Torchwood
is
is
good.
present throughout. Yeah, it's good. Rose is good. It's good kid. The
Oh,
ending
for
is
sure.
kind of when they get
She's
rid of
hot
her
as
and
fuck,
Tennant,
man.
it's kind of goofy, but
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that was just.
Tennant, but when
I
they
think
get-
they
when
did
they
that
get rid
just
of
for the
Rose,
shelter.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I'm kind of surprised they're bringing back Catherine Tate and not Billy Piper, because that's what I would figure that they would try to do.
well, Catherine Tate's a lot more popular as a comedian over in England.
Don't get me wrong. I like Catherine Tate, and a lot of people hated Donna, but I didn't.
Oh, I love Catherine Tate. I love Catherine Tate. She's funny as hell, and she brings a great gravitas to the show, also in her own right. She really
I tell you
does.
what I
'Cause they-
liked about it was, especially after Martha, whatever her name was, Martha.
Yeah,
Martha
Because Martha was
Jones.
such a simp for him.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he had this romantic interest that came in with the doctor, with Rose and the doctor, whatever. Okay, and then Martha comes in, and then she's all like, "I love you, but you love somebody else," and it's like, "Go away, Martha! I can't stand you." And then you came out with Donna, and it was like you had this doctor who kind of started having an ego, and Donna's like, "Yeah, whatever, you're mousy. I don't care about you. I just want to do other things." So it was a great
Yup.
like hit against each other, and that's what I liked about her and him together. Now, if it
Yeah.
lasted more than one season, it probably would have gotten really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was already there for me. She was there when
Yeah,
you
that's
first
what I'm
picked her
saying.
up from her wedding. Yeah, she's
From her wedding.
just, oh, why is she here? Kind of thing.
Mhm.
But again, she's in the two-part librarian or the Library World episode where
Yeah, that was
Tennant
a great
meets River
episode.
Song, and it's just so well done. And
Yeah.
she's not there for about half of it. So,
Well, look,
Alex Kingdon
what is that
fucking
one where
brings
they
it, which is
they had
but
the fat-
her arc in
coming
that
off.
story is amazing, though. The whole story is really,
Oh yeah, Dr.
Yeah.
Donna.
yeah.
Dr. Donna, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm
Ooh,
saying.
there
I
was an
wonder-
episode where she turned right instead of left, and that changed the history of the Earth at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. Oh
lot of-
man, they
lot of
really knew
nice
exactly
touches.
what they were doing.
A lot of nice touches during that era. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good stuff in that era. Truth to power, absolutely.
But like, yeah, because everybody kept looking behind her, like something was on her back.
Yeah.
Like, what? What are y'all looking at? And there's actually like some kind of bug or something that had gotten on her in the marketplace.
Some
Oh,
CGI
yeah.
demon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the demon is like trying to impregnate her through her back or something. It's like
Everybody could see something was wrong, but nobody could really tell her what it was.
Right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a good episode. Golly. I think I remember those more than I remember any of the other runs. Honestly. The Martha Jones one, I can remember the Shakespeare episode and the hospital episode. Other than that, I remember when she was gone, and then I was upset when they brought her back. Although it was a pretty
Martha?
good season finale on Martha. Yeah. Where they basically captured the doctor for like a year. Master had doctor for like a year. He was all shriveled up, kind of Gollum-ish looking in the cage. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, I remember when they got back to her, she was hanging around with one of the other characters from
Yeah, Mickey.
Mickey. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh
didn't like
God,
him much
Mickey.
either. Yeah.
He was a waste.
Hmm.
He was a waste.
Well, it's a lot of those.
He was there to be Eccleston's punching bag is what he was there for.
Pretty much.
Hmm.
But Martha does pretty good on New Amsterdam. Unfortunately, that's been changed.
Yeah.
And her part in Star Wars is legendary.
Well, what part? What are you talking
What
about?
she did in Star Wars.
Martha was in A New Hope, or not A New Hope. Martha was in the episode 7.
Really?
She had a really big part, and they narrowed it down to her looking up just as her planet was about to be destroyed.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She was a major politician that was fighting against the whatever the Third Reich or whatever the
first order.
The first order.
First, third, what? Who knows?
Right.
The fifth, third.
The Empire. Let's face it.
But she had she had a good 15, 20 minutes in the movie that they cut down to her looking up and looking surprised as her planet was just about to be destroyed. If you go back and look, she made it into the film. She made it into the film long enough to be obliterated.
She doesn't care though. She gets paid, doesn't she?
Yes, she did. She got paid for her
She
time.
got paid all right.
Yeah.
Oh, she did.
How the final cut of the film went, maybe we should put a little bit of Martha in there. Here we go.
Could you imagine her saying
Frima?
Could you imagine signing that contract and telling all the family that she was in Star Wars, and then they all
Star
went
Wars.
to see it, and she was in it, and half of them blinked.
Did you see it?
I was there.
That was my IMDb credit is for a documentary called American Scary that I did 15 minutes on talking about horror hosts, and I'm in the documentary for like 10 seconds.
Oh Jesus!
There and gone. Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, at least you got an IMDb.
But I got in. Yeah, and they gave me
in.
So there we are.
Ta-da!
And then somebody found the old Gravity. I did an interview for the Gravity Room for Sci-Fi Channel way back when. That is really an embarrassing interview where I'm saying every other word. It's irritating. But I was talking about the War of the Worlds book. So that was a fun time. Yeah. Somebody added that to the credit.
Oh, God.
That's fun.
That is just too damn funny.
And then there's another one I haven't gotten credit for on IMDb, but I was in a documentary about Flint because of Flint Comics. It was a positive documentary about this, you think Flint's really bad. Well, here's the positive stuff that's happening, that kind of thing.
Oh,
that's a nice counter to the embarrassing Netflix show that they had for one season. That was just a mess.
Which one was that?
Bit of Flint Town, I think they called it. Still, it's probably still up on Netflix. It was a Netflix original, but I watched one episode of it, and I said, "That's not Flint. You went through all of the bad parts. You found the most deserted street that you possibly could, and filmed it. And then that's the bit of film that you go back to over and over again. It was a reality, quote unquote, program about the police situation in Flint, and it wasn't real at all."
Was that the one where like Trump shows up and everybody's yelling at him in one of the episodes? Like he goes there for a rally?
Didn't watch more than one, so Trump might have been in one, but I doubt it.
I think I remember seeing some of it.
We did have Kamala up here when they were running, and everybody was fawning over her. That was
who? Kamala?
Harris.
Who's Kamala?
Yeah. Kamala Harris, the Kamala.
Oh, Kamala Harris. Okay, right. Yeah, big deal.
Depending upon how you want to pronounce her name. Yeah, Kamala.
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 Kabubi. I don't care.
Yeah.
Ramalama ding dong.
That's about it.
That is about it.
Welcome to the Political Hour, folks. You're watching the Sunday Funnies for the 3rd of July.
We just try to take crazy politicians' names and say them.
Normally, we do talk about funny books on this program, but it's been politics and TV. So, hey, it's genre TV, so that's cool.
There you go.
Nobody's attempted a Journeyman comic yet, so there is that.
So, what do you think? You see, there's going to be a Time Bandits remake.
Yeah, I agree with Glenn.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Some things are just best left alone. Just leave them there. Don't reboot Journeyman at this point. Just make it available for streaming and let people find it. Please don't. And I'm a little leery of Babylon 5 being rebooted, but I'm interested to see it.
They're rebooting Babylon 5?
Yeah. Yeah, Straczynski's still attached to it, but again, how are you going to find a cast like that? Half of the cast has already passed from Babylon 5, and you're never going to find somebody to be Garibaldi.
Never.
They're probably not going to. They're probably not going to do the same characters.
They're probably not. No, because they can't.
Yeah,
because a lot of these characters are embedded in. Well, but then again, hey, look at what Battlestar Galactica did with Starbucks. So.
Yeah.
What can you say? and the reboot of Battlestar Galactica was really good until the end. So the last 4 or 5 episodes, they just need to sweep under the rug and go, yeah, we didn't mean it. So.
But was the first run of Battlestar Galactica? I remember seeing the Cylon helmets and everything, but did it have a cult following? Because Babylon 5 has had a cult following. Yeah.
The first run of Battlestar, yeah, it did, but it didn't. It wasn't as big.
Yeah. Because Babylon 5 it's been pretty big.
Babylon 5 is one of those cult shows that when you really give it a chance, and HBO Max at least has the whole 5 seasons up there. They don't have the movies that followed it because the movies complement the show really well and fill out a couple of storylines. Crusades is a mess. That was a spinoff from Babylon 5. It's a major mess, and they tried to do a Adventures of the Rangers show that was just a pure embarrassment. It was really bad. But the original run and the movies that were around it are just amazing.
The amazing thing on that was what's the show that Mr. T's in it? The A-Team.
A-Team.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
You know the good-looking guy who was in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
In that
Dirk Benedict.
Yeah.
Dirk Benedict. That's right.
There was an episode of the A-Team when a Xylem walks past him and he sort of half looks at the camera, doesn't he? And like you know, seen this before type of thing.
And they put that in the opening credits from that point on too.
All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I didn't know. Who did he play on Battlestar Galactica?
He was
Starbuck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I've never seen either one of them. So
No,
I
it's okay.
no
It's
idea.
okay. That's exactly who that was, though.
But that makes sense because I think I've seen him on a meme. He said something about going to Earth and starting a whole bunch of coffee shops.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
That just went around again this week where he's sitting. It's a great shot of him too in his outfit. He goes, "When I get to Earth, I'm going to start a chain of coffee shops."
Yeah.
The best thing about the original Battlestar Galactica was the design of the space helmets. They were like Egyptian things, weren't they?
That was intentional. Yeah.
Well,
that was really cool.
They had a lot of. Well, John Dykstra was there, and I think they hired McQuarrie too to do the design work.
Really?
The design work on Star Wars. Yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of those ships and the effects on that show were incredibly good. It's just that within, the first part of the first season, they decided that they were going to be a Western in space. So you started seeing a lot of Western storylines, Western plots thrown in.
Yeah.
You got one of the characters stranded on a planet where he was fighting a Cylon whose programming was off, and they had a big showdown at noon, high noon, that kind of thing. Just that really bad. Well, now we've got this thing. We've got this great show. What are we going to do with it? Well, it's just like a Western in space. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah, we've got this great idea. Let's mess it up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They did that with Star Trek. They did that with an episode of Star Trek too, man. It was like for some reason they showed up on a planet that was influenced by 1920s movies from planet Earth, and you had Vic Tayback from that show Alice.
Yeah,
if you remember that, and it's like, hey, where them heaters? I like them heaters.
Well, that was
the whole dwarf episode.
That was the whole point of the show. The whole point of the show is that they had gone there and visited the planet, classified it, and had left. And when they left a book about America in the 1930s in the gangster era.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And when they come back, everybody had taken that magic gift from God and had turned it into their Bible, and they were all gangsters.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Al Capone is my Jesus.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
like-
much. And then at the end of the story, they realized somebody left a phaser behind, and they're like, "Oh crap!"
Oh.
It had to be a red shirt.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Spock, why did you leave? The laser,
and it's
fine.
like, no, just let them find it. Let them figure it out.
Let them figure it out.
Yeah. So in the
So much for that
opening,
prime directive.
yeah, in the opening of Strange New Worlds, they bump into a planet that was too close to a major event that happened in Discovery. And however they did it, they discovered warp technology. So of course, the first thing this world does is they turn it into a bomb.
Oh God!
So they pick up they pick up a warp signature from the planet, and they send somebody out to see it. That's how the pilot episode starts. Is they go and they get the captain back, and Pike was part of the Discovery show at one point. They go and they
Yeah.
grab Pike again, and they restart the Enterprise in order for him to go out to this planet because some of the crew that Pike knew were trapped on the planet, and they had just disappeared. They needed to go find out what happened to them, and so they had to cautiously go up to the planet and deal with the fact that they had warp tech, but they didn't know how to warp. They knew how to. They turned it into a bomb. So at the end of the episode, he pulls up a video of Earth, of Earth's history, and they go, "Yeah, we figured out how to blow each other up early on in our existence, and look, and then we turned into a peaceful society, and all of this happens. So you got a choice. You can go ahead and blow each other to death. That's fine. But now that you've got, now that you're aware that we're here and there's warp technology, I can talk to the big boys, and you can be part of the Federation if you want, and then all of this will happen." He says, "But you gotta not blow each other up."
Yeah.
But if
Jesus,
you,
man.
nice knowing you.
Oh, I love that. Where he's just like, if you want to go right ahead, we're not gonna. I push it. That's it.
You got a choice. I can show you what happened on our world when we learned how to blow each other up. We eventually learned how to get along with each other. But hey, if you want to blow each other up, that's your prerogative.
Go right ahead.
See you. Let me know. Yeah. See you. There was another really good episode where they were trying to negotiate with an alien race, and Pike figures out early on that it's not the language or the communication. The alien race wants to be told flat out, truthfully, what the hell's going on. So Pike tells them, "Don't join the Federation because we're going to do this, this, and this, and this, and you're going to do this, this, and this, and then eventually you're going to be part of this, this, and this. So it's up to you." And then everybody's freaking like, "What are you telling him all this for?" And he's like, "Well, no, I found out early on. They just don't want to be lied to. It's not that they want to know what their choices are without, any bullshit." So he went up and told them.
Well, they join at the end of that, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Because they appreciate his honesty.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, it doesn't. You'd have to watch the show. It doesn't spoil it.
Yeah, I'm not.
It doesn't. I wouldn't have done that to anybody.
Kirk dies. No, he doesn't.
Everybody dies. Everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
There's a spoiler for you.
At least the current Strange New Worlds haven't run into tribbles yet. So it's all good.
Oh, Christ. I'm waiting for that. They have to have the tribbles.
They do have they did have, or do have, I should say, a pretty good Andorian in it, though. That's kind of fun. So not a lot of weird alien text, in Next Generation where they just stuck a piece of prosthetic on the guy's face and said it's an alien race. You don't get a whole lot of that in this.
Yeah, the best aliens are in Babylon 5,
so far. Anyway, go ahead.
No, man, I'm just waiting.
Go ahead, Glenn.
The best aliens are in Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Because we don't talk to them and stuff like that, or they don't talk to them, and they're really clever. Like the shadows and all that. Really clever, really cleverly done.
Yeah. You don't see them to start with.
Yeah.
So. And nobody's seen what a Vorlon looks like until it's like too late. So
yeah.
Is that the one?
I never knew. I never knew what a Tholian looked like until Enterprise showed up.
I don't think they even showed a Tholian, did they?
They did. What was it? In a Mirror Darkly, towards the end of the 4th season when they got canceled. They went to the Mirror Universe, and
okay.
What's it? Dr. Phlox is like Joseph Mengele and shit. He's like doing all sorts of experiments, and he's like, "Well, if I decide to drop it to 300 degrees centigrade, this is what happens to a Tholian skin." And it's like this crystalline creature thing, and he's like, "Oh fuck! All right, I'll tell you. All right, I'll tell you what's going on. Don't kill me." Because the Tholian is like saying something to like the captain's mother about the captain's mother. It's like, "All right, do this." And he's like, "Well, if I just drop it down to 350 degrees centigrade, watch what happens to his skin."
I don't remember that episode at all.
Oh, it was great. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good.
A few good ones.
Yeah, it was. That's right. It was one of the very few good ones.
Critical Blast
picked up steam in the 4th. Go ahead.
This is one of the best alien crew members. We're on Phil Nation's animated series. Oh, okay.
Well, they didn't have any budget constraints. They could just draw whatever the hell they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm correct, I think they even had a couple of alien helmsmen there in lieu of either Sulu or Chekhov, and it was like, like one of those, like a Star Wars type alien or something like that with like a 5-foot neck or something like that.
Uh-huh.
They were able to do that, and a lot of the Filmation stuff was really good. And of course, they got all the actors from the original series.
That's what he meant, Filmation series. Yeah.
The Filmation animated series.
All of the actors were eager for work, so it's like, hey, how'd you like to do some voice work? So they came in and did that. And the writing on the animated show is just as good as the most of the same writers that were on the original Treks.
It's true, yeah. Oh my God,
I
miss that shit.
Again, more classic stuff.
Oh yeah, I love that old stuff, man. It's so pure, and it's so innocent. And now it's like everything is slick and CGI'd, and it's like, you have no soul. It's like, you have. Go ahead.
There's a desperate need for a variety of animation out there, so
yes,
that we're just not seeing any at the moment. Too many of the same, too much of the same style, too much of the same crap writing.
Oh God. Now everything looks like it's a Rick and Morty based thing or something. Even the new Star Wars Lower Decks, it looks like a Rick and Morty episode.
Well, that's probably intentional, but Rick and Morty is the exception to the rule. So
yeah,
Rick and Morty is.
Hey, Morty, look! I'm going to go into warp speed, Morty. Look at this! I'm going to blow up the core, Morty.
Yeah, Rick and Morty's pretty close to genius. So.
Oh yeah, that is true.
I know you haven't watched any of them, have you, Glenn?
No,
Glenn hasn't seen any Rick and Mortys.
I was told when I was teaching cartooning, I had an elementary small kid tell me, "Haven't you watched Rick and Morty?" I said, "No." He says, the kid goes, "You got to watch Rick and Morty." And I watched Rick and Morty, and I went, "What parent in their right mind's letting their kid watch this show?"
I'm not sure it was on our TV. Crap. I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's it's the story of a mad genius who's a drunkard.
Yeah.
And his nephew.
No, grandchild.
Grandchild as they go off on crazy adventures. And a family that has to put up with this crazy guy. Right. And it's got it's really, the way that they have it set up, it's really a teaching tool for high school and college kids to learn physics. And basic physics theory, string theory, that kind of thing, because it goes in and explains all of these physics principles incredibly well, and then very humorously. They poke fun at everything. And the guy's belching. He's drinking from a flask the whole time he's traveling with little Morty. And all sorts of crazy things happen. Multiple universes, just anything that you can imagine. Time travel, all sorts of stuff. Just crazy stuff. He turns himself into a pickle once to get out of having to go to.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Hey, Morty, I'm Pickle Rick. I'm Pickle Rick.
Morty, look! I turned myself into a pickle, Morty. Boom! Big reveal. I'm a pickle.
And it sounds stupid because it is.
It is, but
it sounds like
it knows. It knows it doesn't have to take itself seriously.
Yeah,
that is true. That is true. I love that show.
It's got some really basic science instruction though in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fascinating to see. I'm sitting there going, if this wasn't so offensive, it could be a great teaching tool for kids. But no.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't want my kid to see it until he could handle, until he was mature enough to handle cuss words and a lot of other things. So, but it's a good show. Like I said, I sat there and I said, what elementary school parent, what parent of an elementary school kid is letting their kid watch this stuff? Holy crap.
No, it's definitely not for kids.
No, it's not.
It's like letting your kid on RedTube almost.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, hey, Rich, let people know where they can find you if you want to be found.
You can find me, not as of late, but you can find me on my YouTube channel, The Richness, where I go live drawing commissions or pages of my comic book. And speaking of which, I'm introducing a new series called The Roaring. It's a story about a group of flappers in 1920 Chicago whose only goal is to take over the entire criminal underworld. And you have one police officer, the first female police officer in the 27th district, who is assigned to go undercover and infiltrate that group. And she does so because she loses a family member as a result of their actions and their activities. Now, time will tell if she's successful or not. It is a 6-issue limited series, and I will put it out once every 3 months. It's a 22-page comic, which makes it a lot easier for me than one of those big jam graphic novel things. And I'm really excited about it. The Kickstarter begins in the first week of August, possibly the 2nd. And the Kickstarter campaign is active now. So if you just go to the Kickstarter, if you just go to Kickstarter.com, you type in The Roaring, ROARING, you should be able to find it and take a peek at it. And if you like it, follow the campaign. And where I usually put up a little bit of updates here and there about the rewards, the tiers, any of the stretch goals, and most importantly, the art and the story as I update it as I go along. So hope to see you guys there.
And we have a link for that already in the chat. Thanks to
Yay! That's awesome.
Already there. Glenn, let folks know how they can find you.
They can find me on Facebook, and they can find all my books on Amazon. But there's about 10 books on there, 10 or 11 books, and there's also magazines on there that I produce. And you can also get this on Indiegogo. My Trip to Jack Kirby's House, that's on In Demand. So that's the best place to get me on Amazon, I would have thought, on Indiegogo.
There you go. Mike, Jimmy, let folks know how they can find you.
You can find everything about me on my Linktree /Fairies and Ends. And of course, the Radiant site currently running on Indiegogo. We got a Projects We Love, but we're only 40% funded with 15 days left. So check it out.
That's the Radiant site.
Yes.
Yes, the Radiant site.
That's on Indiegogo. Go over and check that out. And I believe we should have that link in the chat here as well, if it hasn't already been put in there.
Let me fix that.
See, Michael, let folks know how they can find you.
As always, you can look at my Linktree at Linktree / Michael Lanning, or check us out on Dispatches from Outside the Box at 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays.
Sweet.
Nicely done.
And hey, folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find me next on probably Dispatches from Outside the Box. What's this week's theme again?
Crossovers.
Crossovers. Yeah, that's right. You'll probably find me over there on Tuesday or Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. I have the Zimcast, where we talk a little bit more seriously about the business. That is comics and sequential art. We will be discussing the book Gender Queer probably again this week. So as there has been more news that has happened right the day after we talk about it on the last Zimcast, more news broke. So we'll talk about that then. Yeah. So go watch the Zimcast 9 p.m. on Wednesdays from that's 9 p.m. Eastern time, 9 to 11. Then I'll be back again next Sunday for another episode of Sunday Funnies. Not sure who's going to be joining me then, but I've had a lot of promises. And we'll see. I sent out a lot of links this morning, and nobody messaged. Nobody messaged me back. John Celestri just messaged me back. It's a brunch date with the wife. Absolutely understandable. Happy wife, happy life.
Mm-hmm.
So, happy house, happy spouse. That's what it should be.
I hope everybody else enjoys their the rest of their holiday weekend. Over here, it's a big holiday. It's July the 4th, Independence Day, Fireworks Day. Time for a few folks in the area to lose fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As they set off fireworks all night long. New Year's Eve for you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those slow boats from China have been really slow this year. So the fireworks displays, I understand, have been disappointing to date. I'm very sorry to hear that. Not that I'm a big fan, but I went to bed early last night to the sound of thunder rolling outside the house. Which was actually fireworks. It's a lot better than playing the guessing game that most Flintoids usually play.
Gun or fireworks?
Gun or fireworks? I have a comic strip that I'll print one day where they're out there where they're hearing bangs outside their window and they're guessing until they have a natural gas leak explosion in the house. Boom, and they're all knocked on the floor. And they're like, fireworks? No, natural gas explosion. That happens. That used
dark.
to happen a lot in the neighborhood. Well, there was a time when everybody was scavenging for copper and for metal materials that they were turning into the scrap yards. We have a couple of big scrap yards around here. We're auto hub for auto manufacturing. And some people were just going into abandoned houses and taking pipes. And
oh my God.
every once in a while they were taking the wrong pipes. Sometimes they learned a lesson. Sometimes you learned a lesson a day or so afterwards, as their house literally explodes and takes out the houses next to them.
Oh my God.
Fun time.
That is terrifying.
Anyway,
Fun
it can
times.
be fun time. But hey, everybody, I've been your host. You can find me on Facebook if you absolutely have to find me. Actually, though, I'd prefer you email me at thezimcast@gmail.com. We're always looking for input for problems that we can solve, for any questions you have about the industry. I've done just about everything. And if I haven't done it, I know somebody who can probably answer whatever question you can send me. So if I can't do it, so send it to thezimcast@gmail.com.
Have a good one, man. Thank you for having me.
Deeply thank everybody for being here. Thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't gone over to the Raging 2 YouTube site, do it now. Go over there and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. We've got some great stuff. Rich is gone. And he actually lasted 2 hours today.
He managed to last exactly 2 hours.
It's amazing. Yes.
Wow.
That's the record. If anybody out there is voting that line, you can count it as 2 hours. Anyway, you can punch that.
Wow.
Want to thank everybody for showing up again. Scott Rosema, Stone, everybody out there who got links, you missed.
I think they probably got their show doing something else.
Pretty sure Brian K. Morris promised he'd be here this Sunday. I don't know. I'll have to get a hold of him and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So this Wednesday, I'm hoping to have a long-time retailer on that we can talk, and old friend of mine that we can talk the business about. And it's not an aspect of this business you don't hear on the podcast often enough, I think. And there needs to be, or at least I haven't been able to find them on YouTube. I see Comic Tom all the time talking about the great increases in value of all these great books. He's got his own app that you can join. He's got his own little bell ringer and money that falls from the sky whenever a slabbed book goes up 100% or so in value. But not a whole lot of retailers out there talking about the trenches and the day-to-day of having to deal with Diamond and the comic industry from their standpoint. So I'm really looking forward to trying to have him on and to get his perspective on things. Plus, we might actually have Ted Davies, who is a co-podcaster along with Glenn on a few shows, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That he might actually show up on Wednesday as well. So
Cool.
we'll see. So stay tuned. That's the Zimcast on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Then we'll be back
asleep,
here.
Mike.
You'll be asleep.
Yeah, we
Maybe.
will definitely be asleep.
Hopefully.
No, by the time they end, I just wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tagged on to the end of the last show, but
That's why I like having a show on early on Sundays. So you can get a show.
We appreciate it.
we do.
Yeah. It's part of the reason. that and Nerd Bacon. I think you were on Nerd Bacon this last week, right, Glenn?
Yeah, no, I am most of the time. Like Luke literally just goes, you don't have to get your way in. Just join.
I go on Nerd Bacon and then cut over to Comics Unlimited with Ted. So it's
there you
afternoon.
go.
So
yeah, cool.
A bit interesting talks about stuff.
You don't have me on your shows. What's up with that?
Still time. You never know.
I'm just
You
saying.
never know.
Well, Brian's been promising to have me on an episode of Comic Spectrum, and I'm like, I'll go out and buy whatever books you want me to hit a retailer before I do the show. I'll do it. Let's do that. I wouldn't mind, doing that. And I'm thinking about doing that on the Zimcast anyway, going through and reviewing books and pulling them up in front, or taking screenshots and talking about
let
problems,
me tell you,
or doing actual critiques of a book. Not mean, not little, not happy, like, ooh, Marvel, great stuff, but an actual critique of a comic and the technique that they use. I think that might be beneficial for folks.
Oh, for sure.
Go ahead, Glenn. What were you saying?
I was going to say that Ted and I have mentioned your name, Randy. So
that's why my ears were tingling.
Watch this space.
The spider sense was tingling.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you're like, let's bump into Sunday Funnies. That'll be great. So, hey, everybody, thanks again for listening. Hope we entertained you for the last 2 hours. Didn't talk a lot about comics. You were able to see Michael draw comics, so maybe
and Rich.
And Rich, yeah. While Rich was doing the roaring. Yeah. So it's all on the way. What's up with your book? Are you going to be crowdfunding that?
Me?
See? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
Probably. I don't have a date or anything for that right now. So
yeah,
there's still a lot of work.
It comes as it comes.
It's like the books. I've been working on that COVID book for too long, so I've got to get that done and out. I've still got a couple of interviews I want to do and a couple of people that I want to try to track down to see if they actually exist and that kind of stuff. But there's a lot to do in the meantime, and I'm finally in between commercial work so that I can concentrate on actually doing it. So I've got a lot of the dream sequences laid out in spiral notebooks, but I just have to do originals, final versions of it for it. So
yeah, I've got my second Hatch book that's been ready since Christmas. So just things happening and stuff. I've had to put it back. So hopefully I'll be getting on with that and getting it on Indiegogo or something.
And
imminently,
I should mention August 6th and 7th, I will be at the really cool Comic-Con here in Flint at the whatever the IMA Sports Arena is currently being called, the federal whatever, or the who knows what arena. I don't know. It used to be the Pirani Arena, and it all depends on who wants to pay to have their name on the building. But whatever that is, over off of I-69 and Center Road, I'll be there. August 6th and 7th. It'll be the first convention I've done in a couple of years.
Nice.
Looking forward to that. And then, hey, I might actually be throwing a convention myself here soon. So, I mean, within the next year or so, I've got a few people that I want to talk to about their venue and see what's happening. See how the situation is post-COVID. So, might not get the same deal that I had before. I don't know. I'll have to see.
How desperate are you?
Yeah. Well, the wife doesn't want me to do any, but you get that ache, It's like printing your own comic. Once you feel that first issue in your hand, once you've actually got it, you physically hold it, and you know you've done all the work in it. You want to keep doing it. You want to keep doing it for as long as you can. So, I don't know if I can, but you might see some announcements soon. I would give my eye teeth to be at the. They have a casino here in the middle of the state that I think would be a perfect venue for a comic show. That would be just great to do. They had a couple of shows here a few years back post COVID, and you do it a couple of times, or you do it enough, and you do other people's shows, and you sit there and you go, I do this different, but this is a cool idea. I would do that different, but that's a cool idea. That kind of thing. So you never know. You never know, folks. You never know. Anyway. Everybody, thanks again. This has been Sunday Funnies for the 3rd of July. We'll see you soon around the bend on the Ragin 2 network somewhere. I should throw that banner up here just so you get to, not that one, this one.
There we go.
That up to show you. Ragin 2 network. Subscribe over on YouTube now. If you go over to and you need any Gemini mailers for your campaign, go over to GeminiComicSupply.com. Use that coupon code Ragin2. And they'll give you 5% off of your order. And 5% right now can be quite a lot. Save you a heck of a lot of money. So, all right, we're out of here. We're going to go out the same way we came in with our opening. We'll see you soon. Everybody take care. See ya.
Bye. See you later.
What the fuck is the matter with people in this business?
Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing.